Oh my god, I fixed it somehow. Hi everyone, I'm really sorry about that. That was just so stupid. I don't even know what happened. I'm worried it's gonna go offline, but it seems to be alright. I'm not dropping frames. Okay. Hi everybody. I am sorry about that. I really don't know what happened. I didn't change anything from last night. But it seemed to get very angry. I was live that whole, well, OBS said I was live that whole time, but apparently I wasn't. So we will re-explain everything that we've done so far. Thank you all for hanging out during that. I thought chat was just essentially dead, but I would see a message every once in a while, but yeah. Okay, we are live now. Hang on one second, I'm sorry. I'm very discombobulated. Okay. Hello, Penguin, how are you? How is everyone tonight? I was asking you guys questions and getting no responses. Yeah. Alright, so what we've done so far up to this point is we had some Yukon Gold style potatoes that we started boiling in some shallow water, like just enough to cover it, some cold water. That is now boiling and pretty much done at this point. Hey Abby. Then, while we got that onto the stove, yeah, Wanda, I got the 2 cameras, although the sunlight is kind of crazy on this one. Yeah. So while we had that on the stove, Mrs. Biscotti made a cocktail.
I have visuals. Can anybody see this?
Yeah.
Because I kind of ran through it quickly, even for those who... I don't back up well out of driveways, and I don't do well showing stuff on camera. So we made a maple bourbon sour, and that was to make 2 drinks. We used 3 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of maple syrup, and 1 ounce of lemon juice, which again made 2 drinks. And you can use just the proportions that we have there, like if you want to make, thank you, you know, a bigger batch or whatever, you would just use that ratio. We poured it into a mason jar that was filled with ice, and the nice thing with that is it's marked with ounces on the sides. I was just able to eyeball it. I didn't have to use a shot glass or anything. I actually added the ice after I poured everything so that I could measure it properly. Then added the ice, shook it up, and poured it in 2 glasses over ice. The nice thing with maple syrup is it has like a nice rich flavor, more so than honey or sugar, but it also dissolves really easily in the lemon juice and bourbon. So it shook up really nicely, has a nice kind of like a little bit of a thicker texture, but not too much. And it tastes basically like a little bit sweetened lemonade. It's kind of a dangerous drink. It's a hot day, it's really refreshing. So, yeah.
Yeah, so again, I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties. OBS said that we were live that whole time, and Twitch did not. Yeah, I actually have a chef coat on tonight. This is the most professional we'll ever be. I've got my chef coat on, I've got my black pants, and then we had the whiteboard, like all sorts of shit going on, and we weren't even live.
Well, I did the whiteboard while we were having technical difficulties.
Yeah, but still, it was interesting. Oh, and I don't know if you can see, I got my sumo socks on. They got sumo wrestlers on them, and they're red. I'm not sure if that was in frame. If not, I'll go over there. I also saw, yes, Agent of Doom, thank you for hanging out. I saw you follow the other day when I was offline purely because Kate told you to, and I appreciate that. She brings a lot of viewers to me, and I really appreciate it. So, while Mrs. Biscotti was making the drink, and the potatoes were on the stovetop.
Oh, and the reason we're making potato salad and stir fry is that we've started a StirFriday tradition, but we're also going on like a city people go camping trip this weekend, so we rent a cabin, and we're bringing a bunch of food with us.
Sandwich!
So we're taking food that keeps really well and travels well, which is one of the things we're making is a potato salad. So we've got potatoes cooking. So we're making two very separate dishes. We're not eating them together tonight. So stir fry is being prepped.
Yeah, so I was prepping the stir fry and giving some visuals. So I had chopped up, I can make this bigger now. I had chopped up some baby bok choy. So all that I did for this was lopped off the bottoms of them because they are, they're very dense, very woody and toothy, and just a really crappy texture. So, lop those off, and then with the stalks, slit down the middle vertically, rotated it 90 degrees, and then made another slit vertically, so you've got quarters essentially, and then chopped up to make pieces, like so. And then something I was saying too is with the leaf part of it, the green area, you want to make sure that you don't over chop this to make it, here I'll come to this camera, sorry, it's probably better. You want decent sized pieces because it's going to go in a really hot wok, and if they're really thin, that part of it will burn very quickly, and that would not be good. So then I also chopped up a couple of carrots. So I peeled them, again, cut them vertically down the middle, so that gave me a flat surface to work with. And then what I was saying is with a carrot, you know, you've got the part that is near where the greenery comes out the top, and then there's the part that's all the way down at the base where it would be fully at its deepest part in the earth. And it's different, they're different diameters. You know, the part that's up near the leafy area is much thicker than the part that's down by, you know, all the way in the ground. So on that thinner area, I was making bigger chops on it versus as I got towards the area that would be where the leafy part was, I was making thinner chops because it's got more surface area to it. So the final product, let me find, we get something like this, where this is an area where it would be by the greenery, and then this is a part that would be by all the way down by the smaller end, and it actually gets. Am I dropping frames? No, I think it's just you, Kate. Sorry. Thank you, Sandwich. Everything has been awful with Twitch so far tonight, and including me spinning the camera. Sorry. The other thing that I prepped were some shiitake mushrooms. So with these, I chopped off just the little bit of the end here. Just, you know, a small piece of it, because all the way at the base, this is completely dried out and becomes pretty hard, but this area is still a little bit spongy to it and has a lot of great flavor. So I just chopped off the end and then sliced them down the middle just because I think it looks pretty. And that way you're getting a lot of, just a lot of flavor from both the cap and the stem.
Shiitakes too also have a much more like bouncy texture than other varieties of mushrooms. So this is for the potato salad. They, if you slice them this way, they'll retain that texture a little bit more. It's just more satisfying, particularly since we're making an all-vegetarian stir fry. It just kind of adds that almost meaty texture to it.
And then another ingredient we're going to use is just some frozen, already peeled edamame. You could buy it within the bean and shell it yourself, or even use whole edamame and maybe chop it in half. But the shelled beans is essentially what we want from this meal.
And this is the primary protein source for the meal.
Oh my. Okay, yeah, sorry, it was an Amber Alert, so everything's going off right now. I know, and Kimbo is very on edge tonight. I'm sorry if it's super loud. We had, oh, Jesus. We had someone working on a tree in our backyard to get rid of some of the overgrowth, and so she's just super fired up all frickin' day. I'm sorry. Let me know if that's overly loud and I can turn down the mic.
It's been a long couple days.
Yeah. Okay, so then the other thing we're gonna use is some scallions. We're gonna use the whole scallions.
And some of this is going in the stir fry, some of it's going in the potato salad.
Correct.
I know. I'm sorry. Kimbo's definitely, if she had access to fire and knives, we'd
be in a bad place.
Yeah. And welcome, Jimmy UK. Good to see you here.
Yeah, we'll get to the cooking shortly. Right now, it's been a lot of explanation because my Twitch shat itself, and even though OBS said that I was live, I was not. So I had to kind of go back and re-explain everything that I've done to this point. But thanks for hanging out. All right, so got some green onions.
I know. Alright.
So the potatoes are done. So we're gonna drain those. Do you need help? Okay.
So we're just going to drain them and we're going to let them cool a little bit before we cut them up. But I've just been testing them with a sharp, like, steak knife to pierce them, and they are just tender. So that's what you're looking for. I'll show you in just a moment when we're not on the cutting board here.
Okay. I'm gonna mash up some garlic. All right. So peel these.
And again, that was 1 3/4 pound of baby Yukon potatoes. I just got the smaller ones from like the bulk bin of the yellow potatoes.
Oh, thanks for that sandwich. Well, hell yeah, you know I ain't fucking partnered. So yeah, I guess that there was an issue across Twitch tonight. Good to know, because I didn't change anything from last night. And all of a sudden it was just... it was very obvious that it was an issue with Twitch and not OBS for once. We're just making some slices of the garlic. I'm gonna add this right into the bowl with our green onions, because this is, if you remember, in the past we've talked about aromatics, and those are gonna be our major aromatics for this dish. Okay. Maybe the bell pepper?
Yeah.
How do you want it?
Just diced. And maybe just put it in a stick bowl. Just dice it.
So we're gonna take a bell pepper.
Now I'm gonna start cutting up the potatoes. They're still pretty hot, so I'm using tongs because I don't have the asbestos hands that he does. And I'm just gonna slice them because we're gonna end up kind of almost mashing them together. So I just kind of rough chop them. We leave the skins on. I like the texture of that. If you don't like the skins, you could peel them before you boiled them, but again, it gets a lot more water into the vegetable. This keeps it a little more firm.
And the secret I like to do when I'm cutting peppers, because they have this skin is kind of a pain in the ass to work with. So if you just cut normal across this, it doesn't always go through because it's also not a flat surface. But if you use just the tip of your knife and you make vertical slits, kind of dragging your knife across the cutting board, it makes a really nice, even, straight line cut, which is what I want from this right now. And then coming back across, because there's less surface area, we're able to, chop the normal way. So you'll see me doing that because we work with a lot of peppers, and that's always how I chop them. Plus, if you need to make a really fine dice, that's when it really comes in handy. So it's a lot of, fast, thin slits, just using the tip of your knife to make those lines. Oh, okay.
There is a Tupperware over here.
Did you lose it? Okay, and then we've got our roasted peppers from last night. Same way.
And one of the reasons I'm chopping these while these are hot is because I'm going to make the dressing in just a minute. And when you pour it on while the potatoes are still warm, they absorb the dressing really well. If you wait until they're cold, it just kind of coats the potatoes rather than really absorbing it into the flesh of the potato. So I'm just gonna slide these in with the bell peppers. We're gonna mix everything in this big bowl.
Okay. Ginger?
Oh, ginger, yeah.
This is just for the stir fry, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to use all of this. So then we have some ginger for the stir fry as well. This is going to be another aromatic. I want this a pretty, not a super fine dice, but definitely because it is so fibrous, you can't be doing big chunks of it.
So I'm going to start the dressing for the potato salad again. Mason jar, a little one. We still have a bunch of lemon juice left over, so I'm going to start with that. And then I'm going to add a mix of grapeseed oil and olive oil. You could just do all olive oil, but I want to have it a little more mellow flavor, which grapeseed oil is pretty mild. So that's why I'm doing a mix of the two.
Arugula? Right. Do you want it raw or do you want it cooked down?
And I have about a 2-to-1 ratio of lemon juice to oil. Put some salt and pepper in here. And a good amount of salt since we've got the potatoes, which were not seasoned.
Remember, starches really do take a lot of salt. They are just very porous and absorb so much. Same goes for pasta, rice, things like that. Those very starchy foods are.
Yeah, you need a decent.
Yeah, they take a lot of
amount
sodium.
salt. And take all the scallions.
Oh, I did. Sorry.
I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of ground paprika right into the dressing. And someone took all the scallions, so we're going to add what we can salvage into the salad.
There might be a bite of ginger in there somewhere.
That's fine. So I've got all of the dressing ingredients in here, shaking it up. The paprika helps get it kind of nice and emulsified, a little bit creamy of the texture, which is going to help coat all the ingredients in here. Also going to add some parsley and some of the arugula that we put in the frittatas that we made last night. And the heat from the potatoes is going to help wilt the arugula greens a little bit.
All right, see you later, Alan. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you stopping by. I know you're busy. Yeah, for those of you in chat, that guy, what is it? I don't even know. It's Alan. He's my best friend in real life, so yeah. He doesn't really understand the Twitch world, but he's making an effort for me, which I appreciate.
So I'm just pouring that dressing in here and giving it a stir. When you stir it around, since the potatoes are still warm, they're going to break up a little bit, which also helps thicken up the dressing. And as I said, it'll help wilt the arugula a little bit. And it gets everything kind of cooled down just to a warm level rather than hot. You can eat it like this. You can cool it down, which is what we're going to do since we're going to travel with it. So it's good warm room temperature or cold. And the base of this really we use for a lot of different types of potato salads, just with the peppers, some sort of onion, whether it's scallions, red onions, shallots, and then this basic dressing. And we'll add a lot of different things to it, whether it's the arugula or even some black beans and poblano peppers. Just the essential ingredients we use as kind of a baseline for a lot of different versions of the same salad. That's it over here.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna shift things over to the cooking side of the kitchen. So yeah, we're kind of done all of our prep work. I've already moved some of the stuff. I'm sure you saw me getting in the way. But there, let's see where can I put this? Maybe here? Is that a good spot maybe? I don't know. That might be where I'm standing. Yeah, I'm gonna go back over here. Sorry guys. All right. And I saw my buddy G-Max follow. He's another in real life friend. So we're gonna get our wok nice and hot. It's gonna take a couple minutes. We're gonna be using kind of our relatively standard mix of stir fry, kind of beginning and ending. So we've got our grapeseed oil, and then at the end we're gonna hit it with some sesame oil for that extra flavoring. Remember, you don't wanna cook with the sesame oil. It has a very low smoke point, which means it burns very quickly. And the whole idea of stir fry and using a wok is to cook fast and at a very high temperature. To contrast those oils, we're going to be using some rice vinegar and then some of our liquid aminos, the substitute for soy sauce. I'm also going to use some of our grapefruit juice from last night from the pound cake that we made, and then some of our chili garlic sauce, that sambal. It's basically a chunky sriracha. I'm going to start off with some of that grapeseed oil. And you see how the oil just kind of moves very quickly through the pan? That means the pan's nice and hot. If the pan were still cold, it would not move as quickly, like gliding across the surface. So we know we've got a nice hot pan. I'm going to start
Here's
with...
the pound cake.
Yes. I'm going to start with the carrots. They're going to take the longest to cook. So with our stir fries, if you remember, we want to make sure that we're going in order of the ingredients that take the longest to cook up to the ingredients that basically just go in almost at the end for finishing. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt, so the carrots absorb that. A little bit of pepper.
We've had the 2 pound cakes wrapped up, and it's been so hard to not eat them all. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the title probably does need to be updated. Oh yeah, wow, this is from like 2 streams ago. Stir Friday and potato salad. Update. Whatever, it's not letting me update. Is the menu command? Okay. Okay, it looks like it's okay. I don't know, whatever.
We've been having issues.
Yeah.
Give you 1 carrot. Oh, I put it there in case you change your mind.
Okay, so next up I'm going to put in our aromatics. So this is our green onion, our garlic, and our ginger. We're going to want to keep this moving pretty quickly now that we've added this, because all of these ingredients can burn pretty fast. So it's going to be important to not let that all sit in the pan, because if it does, it's going to burn. But the key to working with a lot of those ingredients is to get a little extra time with them so that they really release all of their essential oils, because all of those products, the onions, the garlic, and the ginger, have a lot of oil that's inside of them. And to get them to come out to the surface, they need to be exposed to heat. And that will essentially pull all those oils to the surface, which is what we want. So it's then being incorporated into all the other food that we're working with.
And that's also the benefit of working with an oil like the grapeseed oil that has the high smoke point is going to help pull out the flavors without burning as well. Ooh, it smells so good already.
Huh? Yeah, it
Smells good already.
Yeah, it just instantly smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and add in our mushrooms next.
Another Kimbo.
Huh?
Another Kimbo treat. No.
No,
No.
I would still use that.
Hey, I just got my serve saved.
Yeah, I got it. So those mushrooms are also gonna release quite a bit of moisture as they reduce down.
Real chef tricks.
Sorry, I'm not sure if you guys could hear me that well. I forgot to move the computer over, which is my microphone source. So I will try to make some space over here.
What a real chef trick would be.
You want me? I don't know what a real chef trick is.
Juggling knives.
Yeah. I don't even know what that would be. Okay, I'm gonna hit the edamame now. Which again, this is our main protein source for this meal. I'll get this and this to clear up some space. I hit it with a little bit of salt again. Haven't done so since the carrots. You don't need to oversalt it because the soy sauce has a lot of natural salt content to it as well.
And the toasted sesame oil has kind of a salty flavor to it also. We don't work at a Benny Hunter. It's a whole different kind of training.
Yeah. So then I say this every time, but I feel like it's always important to say, especially now that you can see it really well with this other camera. When you're working with a wok, as you start to add in quite a few extra ingredients, it starts to mound up in the center. And so this area here is not getting much of the direct heat. So once I flip it again, I'm gonna wanna just kind of move it out from the middle a little bit. So everything is kind of pressed up against the wall of the pan in here. And that allows that surface area to expand and give more area that we can get a nice caramelization and char on.
We've got like picture in picture in picture, as you can see the computer.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the bok choy. So we're not making any rice or other items like that tonight. So this is kind of providing, for lack of a more starchy product, that extra surface area, or like, you know, just kind of beef up the dish a little bit.
Some fiber.
Yeah, some fiber. It's kind of like almost like a fake carb in this instance. A little more salt, a little more pepper. Yeah, no rice
taking
tonight.
advice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit all of this with some soy sauce. And then some of the rice vinegar. Again, I'm not gonna overdo it with the vinegar right now.
We have the juice too.
Exactly, because we're gonna use that grapefruit juice. Come back here.
There she is. Yeah. You can sit right there.
So now she's sitting at my feet. Hey, drunkers.
Adopt? No. Adult babies.
I think that's what he's asking. I can eat this one. And then for adding in some additional heat, we're going to use our sand ball.
Yeah, we feed humans real food.
Yeah.
Like, feed you food on the floor. Kimbo's very picky though.
Yeah, she's very picky.
We often find like little pieces of scraps that we've given her on her bed after we're done cooking. So the lab that we had would eat anything. But
Yeah, you like that spoon action? It's all about the shake and the spin at the same time.
it's like
Yeah, it's like the patting your head and rubbing your belly.
how did I do it? Can I do it this way too? Oh yeah, I can't. No.
No, you rub your belly, pat your head. No.
Do it.
Like, the things that entertain us.
Oh, I like the carrot. Yeah.
Yeah, Kimbo like the carrots.
Look at this.
Come here.
We should learn clapping games to do.
Huh?
The clapping games.
Yes, while things are cooking.
Yeah.
Alright, this is getting pretty close towards the end.
Should we show some of the other food that we made?
Sure. I'm just going to add a little bit of the sesame oil right at the end. So this will just give it really nice flavor. Yeah, it smells like toasted sesame seeds now with that added. Did you lose it? There you go. Alright, so for those of you who were not here last night, we can show you what we made for our trip that we're taking. So, Kate, look away. If you're still in here, I don't think you are, but if you are. This is essentially a frittata that we made, just in a Pyrex pan, bunch of vegetables with some parsley and eggs, and then roasted in the oven.
Also some arugula.
We made a stone fruit salad. Actually, I can still use this camera, sorry. Oh, now it's upside down. Oh, good God. I just can't win. Alright, so this is a stone fruit salad, so it's nectarines and plums that we chopped up, and then added in a dressing that was mainly comprised of honey and various citrus. Add some of the grapefruit as well as the lime. This was our slow cooker meal that we made. So this was a chickpea ratatouille, and it's got just a ton of vegetables, chickpeas, and then the sauce is basically some tomato paste with all those vegetables' natural juices that kind of melted out.
Eggplant, squash, onions, some diced tomatoes as well. And then this is the potato salad.
Yeah, so you can see the final product. Here's the potato salad. So this is just a really nice, like, kind of citrusy, warm potato salad right now. I would eat it like this. It'd be good with like a barbecue, but we're gonna put it in the fridge and let it cool down and then have it all weekend.
And we're gonna bring a couple cans of tuna with us so we can, an extra lemon also. We'll use some of the vegetables that we've got to make some tuna salad. And that'll be pretty much it, some extra bread, but all of this will feed us for a couple of days. And we can mix and match, the food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and have some good meals. We'll probably have a little extra stir fry left over too.
So yeah, that's really it for tonight. If we could, I would like to throw a host to somebody. Let's see. Let's do. My new daytime streamer has been She-Devil. She's not ugly and she's actually pretty good at games. She's actually very good at games. So if we could go in there and raid her, help me get some attention too, to hopefully get a raid back sometime, because she's got a shit ton of followers and shit. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. We won't be around this weekend, but there'll be streams next week. Pay attention to Twitter. But we're gonna go here, and if we could just say, I don't know, the Scotty Food Raid, I would appreciate it.
No, it's just like right. Where is it?
Damn it, that's so loud.
I think it's right up here. And sometimes next to the housing places or whatnot, there's always like a basic little kind of town. Not really town, but like little like merchants and portals and crafting shit. Yeah, it should be right over here. Yeah.
Jump over all these fucking awkward looking
Yeah, there's a general merchant right